Hello everyone, welcome to online lecture series of electronic devices. I am Dr. Sapna Katiyar, Professor in Electronics and Communication Engineering Department at ABES Institute of Technology, Ghaziabad. This is lecture number 17 and today's topic is carrier lifetime. After the completion of today's lecture, you will be able to understand what is direct recombination, what is indirect recombination and what do you mean by recombination, trapping, how to calculate the carrier lifetime. So, in today's lecture, I will be covering the direct recombination, these two topics, the direct recombination of electrons and holes and indirect recombination, that is the trapping. So, we are going to discuss about both of these topics. Let us begin one by one. The first is the direct recombination of electrons and holes. See, excess of carriers, which is electron and holes, can be created into a semiconductor. It means conductivity increases. As I have discussed in the previous lecture, if you have missed it, you must go through with that particular lecture. What do you mean by excess of carriers? Here a term is excess of carriers. Excess of carriers, this is a term which relates to the concentration of electrons and holes. Here we are not talking about the equilibrium, thermal equilibrium concentration. And this excess carriers can be created by various mechanisms. The mechanism may be the optical absorption, it may be the electron bombardment and various other mechanisms are also there. It means when excess of carriers means with respect to the electrons and holes can be created into a semiconductor, and when the concentration of carriers have been increased, it means the conductivity of the semiconductor is also increased. So, this is an important point because conductivity directly related to the concentration of the charge carriers. When excess carriers arise from optical luminescence, the resulting conductivity is known as the photoconductivity. Photoconductivity is a term when the carriers are arises from the optical luminescence. We have discussed in the previous video lecture that there are three types of luminescence depending upon the nature how the carriers are going to be excited. So, those are known as the photoluminescence, cathodoluminescence and electroluminescence. Here you can see in this particular diagram how direct band to band recombination can be explained. You can see there is a valence band, there is a conduction band. Here electron which is available in the conduction band, when this electron drops to the valence band. Now what will happen? If it is falling directly from the conduction band to the valence band, this is known as direct band to band recombination. And why recombination? Because when electron is falling from the conduction band to the valence band, then it is going to occupy a state which is available. That particular state, the point is known as a hole. It means now recombination takes place. Electron is falling from conduction band, it occupying a space in the valence band means the recombination. So, you can explain direct band to band recombination. See, in optical absorption, electron hole pair are created. What happens in the case of the optical absorption? If some of the energy is provided to the semiconductor in the form of the photon energy, what will happen? The electrons which are available in the valence band, those electrons will move from the valence band to the conduction band. When this electron will move from valence to the conduction band, it will reach to this point. It will create a vacancy in the valence band. It means a electron hole pair is created over here. So, in optical absorption, electron hole pairs are created, and in the process of electron hole pair recombination, an excess electron from conduction band falls to the valence band. This is the process for the recombination and this is the process for the generation. Now, this electron, when this electron will move from the conduction band to the valence band, it will occupy a position, it will occupy a space which is known as a hole. And here energy in this particular case, it is emitted as a photon and the recombination is known as radiative. When electron is falling from the conduction band to the valence band, it is releasing certain amount of the energy, and in this particular case the recombination is known as a radiative. So, transition of electrons from valence band to the conduction band, this transition can be direct or indirect, but here the direct transition is being shown, and direct recombination occurs spontaneously. So, you must remember this particular point as well. Direct recombination occurs spontaneously, and but in general this particular recombination, this particular transition may be of two types. It may be a direct or indirect. Here I have discussed the case of the direct. As I have told you, the direct recombination where electron is directly falling from the conduction band to the valence band, you can see we have already discussed in the previous lectures the direct and indirect band gap semiconductors. You can see this is the case of the direct band gap semiconductor. This is the valence band, this is conduction band. You can see the conduction band minima, this point is EC minima and this particular point is valence band maxima. In this particular case, these 2 points are aligned with each other, means the value of k, propagation vector, the value of k is same. If the value of k is k1 at this particular point, its value is k1 at this point also. So, value is same for both the points, and Eg is the energy band gap in between the valence band and the conduction band. So, here when electron falls, it will fall from this point to this point. So, there is a direct transition, and when it is moving from the conduction band to the valence band, it is giving off a certain amount of energy which is written as h nu. So, this is how you can recall the direct band gap. See, in intrinsic semiconductor, the electron concentration in conduction band is equal to the hole concentration in the valence band. What is intrinsic semiconductor? We have discussed the intrinsic semiconductors are the pure semiconductors. In case of pure semiconductors where no impurity is being added, the concentration of electrons will be equal to the concentration of holes. It means at any temperature T, number of electrons, which is denoted as N, is equal to the number of holes, or you can say that the concentration of holes is denoted as P, which is equal to Ni. Ni is the intrinsic carrier concentration. And at thermal equilibrium, when you talk about the generation and recombination, in this particular process there will be a stage of the thermal equilibrium. So, at thermal equilibrium, rate of thermal generation, it will be equal to the rate of recombination, means the number of electron hole pairs generated will be the same as the number of electron hole pairs recombined. So, rate of thermal generation is same as rate of recombination. Rate of thermal generation, it is denoted as Gi, and recombination it is denoted as Ri. So, Gi will be equal to Ri over here, and at any temperature T, the rate of recombination of electrons and holes is directly proportional to the equilibrium concentration of electrons and holes. Equilibrium concentration of electrons is denoted by N naught, equilibrium concentration of holes is denoted by P naught. So, recombination rate is directly proportional to the N naught and P naught. So, here you have to introduce a proportionality constant for this. So, Ri is equal to what? This is alpha R into N naught into P naught. Here this alpha R, this is a constant of proportionality and it is known as recombination rate. So, this is how you can calculate the rate of recombination, and what is the mathematical expression, how to relate it. You must remember all of these points, right. Calculation of carrier lifetime. How to calculate the carrier lifetime in case of direct recombination. See, carrier lifetime can be calculated in both the cases, in case of direct recombination, in the case of the indirect recombination. But what happens in the case of the direct recombination? See, This particular curve I will be explaining you. On the x-axis time is being taken, while on the y-axis hole concentration is being taken over here. See, probability of an electron and hole will recombine, it is constant in time. You must note down this point. The probability of electron and hole concentration, electron and hole which will recombine, this is constant. And as in the case of the carrier scattering, this constant probability leads to an exponential solution. Here it gives us the exponential solution for this particular parameter for the decay of the excess carriers. There may be a decay of electrons, there will may be a decay of the hole concentration. Here you can see on the x-axis time is being taken, but on the y-axis we are talking about the hole concentration. Why we are not discussing about the electron concentration or at which particular time which particular concentration term is being taken over here. See, let us consider the case of n-type semiconductor bar. What will happen in case of n-type semiconductor bar? You have taken the n-type semiconductor bar where the majority charge carriers are what? Electrons, and the minority charge carriers are holes. Now, because of radiation, electrons holes pair are created. Let us say initially N naught and P naught are the concentration of electrons and holes, and when electron hole pairs are created because of the radiation, then there will be an increase in electron density and increase in the hole density. If the increase in electron density, let us say delta N, increase in hole density, let us say delta P, what is the percentage? If you observe the percentage increase in, here we are talking about the percentage increase in concentration. Percentage increase in electrons density will be less in comparison to the percentage increase in hole concentration. Obviously, initially electron concentration is very high and hole concentration is very low, but when you are observing in a certain time interval and we are going to consider the percentage increase, so this percentage increase will be less than the whole. It means now we are confining our discussion with the minority charge carriers. That is why we are discussing about the variation of hole concentration, because this percentage increase is very less. So, if you want to visualize, if you want to like analyze it further, it would be difficult for us how to relate it mathematically and all. So, that is why we are confining our discussion with the concentration of hole, means percentage increase in the hole concentration. Here you can see at T is equal to 0, radiation is turned off, means this is the steady state, and at T is equal to T dash, radiation is turned on. See, as well as the time is like being increased, you can see when radiation is turned off, the whole concentration decays simultaneously, and this decay, see, as you move from left to right, means along the x-axis. So, when the radiation have been turned off, what will happen? There will be a decay in the whole lifetime, and this decay, this is exponential in nature. When radiation is turned off, the whole concentration is being increased, and as we have discussed, the percentage whole concentration will increase. So, this curve shows the increase of that particular behavior, and after turning off, this shows the decay lifetime. See here, this particular decay, this is known as carrier lifetime, and in case of electron decay, it is known as electron decay lifetime. If you are considering the holes, then it is known as a hole decay lifetime. So, both of these lifetimes are very important, you must remember it. Now, at any time T, the rate of decay of electrons is proportional to the number of holes with some constant of probability for the recombination. Rate of decay of electrons is equal to the electrons. So, decay rate is what? This is the holes decay rate d upon dt of nt. This is the decrease. This is equal to proportionality to what? N of t into P of t, and the proportionality constant to remove, you have to introduce a constant which is denoted as alpha r. So, this decay rate d by dt of nt, this is equal to alpha r n of t into p of t. N of t and p of t is the concentrations of electrons and holes at a time t. Now, the net rate of change in the conduction band electron concentration. What is the change in the concentration? See, generation change in the concentration will be what? The generation rate minus the decay rate, that will be the net concentration. So, d by dt of nt can be written as what? Generation rate alpha r into n naught into p naught, n naught p naught the concentrations of the electrons in the thermal equilibrium, minus decay rate as we have written alpha r into nt into pt. So, this is what the decay rate. By the use of this particular equation, equation number 3, you will be able to calculate the net rate of change in the conduction band electron concentration. If we say del nt and del pt are the instantaneous concentration of the excess carriers. See, here we are talking about the excess carriers now. So, we have assumed that this del of nt is the small change in the excess carriers, del of pt is the small change in the carrier concentration of the holes. Now, we can write down this particular equation number 3 as what? D by dt of del nt alpha r first term n naught p naught minus second term alpha r. Here nt will be represented as what? N naught initial concentration plus del of nt. Similarly, this term pt can be written as what? P naught initial concentration plus del of pt. Now, you have to simplify this particular equation. You have to multiply these terms, this n naught plus del nt, p naught plus del pt, then you have to simplify it. Simplify, here you will be getting this equation number 4 after simplifying. Now, what we can assume? We are assuming that here this particular term, the increase, the small increase in the electron concentration is equal to the hole concentration. See, if one electron is moving from a valence band to the conduction band, one hole is created. If one electron is moving from a conduction band to the valence band, one hole is created in the conduction band. It means increase in electron concentration will be the same as the increase in hole concentration, but percentage increase will vary. So, by assuming this equation number 3, when you have substituted the terms, it can be simplified further and you have written it into this particular form. So, I hope now this particular equation is clear to you. But you can see this equation number 4, this is non-linear. You have to simplify this particular equation. You have to identify the terms. Since this is a non-linear equation and del n of t, this is an increase in concentration of the electrons. Already this term is very small. If you are taking its another term, second order, third order, definitely this value is not going to impact much. So, what we can see, we can neglect this particular term. At the same time, we can assume the relationship how this electron thermal equilibrium concentrations are to be like carried out, just to simplify this equation number 4. See, since this is a non-linear equation, as I have told you, to simplify it, let us assume certain like assumptions. If we neglect this term, second order term, and if we assume that the material is p type. If the material is p type, then p naught will be very high in comparison to the n naught, because in p type material the majority charge carriers will be holes. You can consider the material as a n type, accordingly this equation will be varied. In that particular case, in case of n type material, the value of n naught will be high in comparison to the p naught. Now, equation number 4 can be modified into this form, where we have neglected the term this second order del n square t. At the same time, we have neglected the term n naught. Now, this particular equation reduced to this form, minus alpha r p naught into del n t. Solution of this particular equation can be written it into this form. This is the exponential like term. So, this is what delta n e raised to the power minus alpha r, which is the recombination coefficient p naught into t. Its solution can be written here. If n. Tau, this term you know, this is the mean lifetime of the electron. What is tau? Tau is alpha r into p naught, its inverse, or tau n is what? 1 upon alpha r into p naught. So, you can rearrange this equation in the terms of the mean lifetime of the carrier. Here in this exponential term, in place of alpha r p naught, it can be replaced by 1 upon tau n. So, how it can be written further? Minus t upon tau n. In case of direct recombination, excess majority carriers decay at the same rates as the minority carriers. You must remember this point. Here, when there is a direct recombination, means directly electron is falling from the conduction band to the valence band. In that particular case, the decay for the majority and minority charge carriers are same. Now, more general expression for the carrier lifetime can be written as what? Here you are considering only one type of charge carriers. So, if you consider both types of charge carriers, means electrons and holes both, then this can be written as what? Tau n, which is equal to 1 upon alpha r n naught plus p naught. And this equation number 9, it is valid for n or p type material if the injection level is low. You must remember this point also. So, if that particular level is low, you can utilize it, and this is how you can calculate the carrier lifetime, mean lifetime of the carriers also in case of direct recombination. So, I hope now this particular point is clear and how to relate it mathematically. The only thing you have to remember over here, you are considering a type of semiconductor, then you are considering their thermal equilibrium concentration, then you are considering the excess carrier concentration, you are considering the percentage increase. You are observing if you have taken the n-type semiconductor, percentage increase is less in case of the electron concentration. That is why we have left that particular term and we have drawn the curve in between the hole concentration and the time, because in that particular case the advantage is to consider the minority charge carriers. Recombination rate. Recombination rate is denoted by Rn dash, and it can be written as what? Minus d upon dt del n of t, or it is del n t upon tau n, which is the mean lifetime of the carrier. Negative sign indicates the rate of change of excess minority charge carriers. This is a negative quantity. That is the only what the sign is being indicating. For the case of direct band to band recombination, you can write this particular equation into this form for direct band to. So, you can note down this particular formula as well. This is also important. Coming to the next topic, which is the indirect recombination or trapping. See, direct recombination, you must remember there is a direct transition of the electrons from the conduction band to the valence band, while in case of the indirect recombination, this transition is not direct. There are certain impurities, traps in the semiconductors which is in between, and from those particular traps there is a transition. Let us discuss the indirect recombination also. The majority of recombination events in indirect material occurs via recombination levels within the band level. In between the valence band and the conduction band, there are various recombination levels. The resulting energy loss by recombining electrons, it is usually given up to the lattice in the form of heat rather than by the emission of the photons. I will show you with the help of a diagram how this recombination level is being shown and how there is a transition takes place. So, any impurity or lattice defect which can serve as a recombination center, it will serve as a recombination center if and only if there is a condition. It is capable of receiving one type of carrier and subsequently capturing opposite type of carrier. See, if this condition fulfills, then only that impurity or lattice defect can serve as a recombination center. Otherwise, that is not going to serve as a recombination center. See, electron hole pair recombination at recombination level is followed in two steps, hole capture and electron capture. See, in this particular case, the capture process of recombination level is being shown. This is a valence band, this is a conduction band, EF is the Fermi level, EC and EV are the energy level for the valence band and the conduction band. EF is the Fermi level, ER is the energy at the recombination level. Here you can see the first case here, hole capture. When an electron moves from the recombination level ER, here you can see this particular valence band is completely filled. Conduction band may have many empty states, but this ER, this level, at this particular level ER, you can see various electrons have been shown, means number of electrons are available because this is close to the Fermi level. So, when electron moves from ER level, this recombination level, to the valence band, now what will happen? In this particular case, it is going to occupy a space in the valence band, and that particular space or vacancy, which is known as a hole, means this is the process of the hole capture. At the same time, what will happen? An electron which is available in the conduction band, it will drop down to the recombination level, and here because of the movement of this electron, the vacancy was created and it will occupy this particular vacancy. So, this is how the electron capture process can be explained. So, in this way, hole capture, electron capture means you can observe these two processes are subsequent processes. Simultaneously it happens. When electron is falling from ER to EV, it is creating a vacancy at the recombination level. That vacancy is occupied by the electron which is moving from the conduction band to the valence band. So, I hope now this particular capturing process is clear to you. What is the carrier lifetime? The carrier lifetime, which results from indirect recombination, it is more complicated than the case of the direct recombination. See, in case of direct recombination, you have observed that the electron is directly falling from the conduction band minima to the valence band maxima. There the value of the this factor k, this constant k is same. But in case of the indirect recombination, what happens? You can see this point is the conduction band minima, this point is the valence band maxima. The value of k at this particular point, if this is k2, the value of k at this particular point k1, you can see the values are varying. So, what happens? First, electron moves from this conduction band minima to a trapped level, means there will be a change in the value of k, then electron will fall from this point to the valence band. This is how the entire operation takes place. So, here you can see the process, the carrier lifetime will be high obviously, because in case of direct it is directly falling from the conduction band to the valence band. Lifetime for which the carriers remains, that is less, but here carrier is spending more time, it is moving from this conduction band to the trap level, then trap level to the valence band. So, carrier lifetime is high, and this particular process is quite complicated as well. Reason is unequal times required for capturing each type of carrier. Unequal times required for electron capture, for hole capture, that is why this is quite tedious. What is temporary trapping? Temporary trapping, this is also a very important point. See, when a carrier is trapped temporarily, from the name itself, its function is clear. Temporary trapping means the electrons are not going to be trapped permanently. They are going to stay there for certain time duration. If you are moving from one place to the another place, you have to start from source, you have to reach out to a destination. In between you are taking a halt. So, that particular halt, that location is not your destination, you are just taking a rest. It means that is the temporary place. So, when carrier is trapped temporarily at a center and then it is re-excited without recombination, the process is known as temporary trapping. See, when electron moves from a conduction band to the trap level, it has not come to the valence band and again it is re-excited to the conduction band. That is the process, which is the temporary trapping. So a trap is a center in which after capture of one type of carrier, the next most probable event is re-excited. However, the most probable next event is the capture of opposite type of carriers, which is known as a recombination center. As I have told you, the electron hole capture, electron capture parallelly, the overall process goes up to, right. So, this is how you can explain the temporary trapping. So, I hope now these 2 points are also clear to you. Experimental arrangement to measure the effects of recombination and trapping. So, just there is a flash generator is being taken, it is a source of short pulses of light, there is a sample, there is a oscilloscope for the displaying of sample voltage. This is the photoconductive decay arrangement being done. Here what happens, when the value of this resistance being changed along the sample, accordingly the voltage which is going to be displayed at the output, this voltage will be changing. So, when sample resistance changes, voltage across the oscilloscope also changes, and you can calculate the photoconductive delay. Photoconductive delay will gives you what, the estimation of the recombination or trapping effect, and mathematically conductivity of the sample you can calculate Q charge Nt into mu n plus P into mu p, and the concentration of electrons at any instant time, P concentration of holes at any instant t into their mobility. So, this is how this experimental arrangement can be done and photoconductive decay can be measured. Some of the points which we have discussed in today's lecture, which you must remember: when excess carriers arises from optical luminescence, the conductivity is known as the photoconductivity. There are two terms of the decay: carrier lifetime. In case of electron decay, it is known as electron decay lifetime, while in case of holes, it is known as hole decay lifetime. Expression for carrier lifetime we have discussed, direct band to band recombination we have discussed. What is temporary trapping? Impurity means when the carriers have been left in between and then again it is re-excited, that is the temporary trapping. So, all of these 2 points you must remember it. Thank you so much for watching this video.